Well, I wanted to invite you to join us on June 14th. That Sunday, we will do our annual meeting. And this is a chance for us as a church to gather and to talk about the year in the past and then also to look to our year ahead. We have two new elder candidates that we wanted you to get to know. And so I'm going to interview both Kyle Brogden and then Scott Irwin and ask them some questions just so that you have a chance to know who our new elders will be. Everyone, this is Kyle Brogden. Kyle, why don't you just tell everyone a little bit about your involvement here at the church, how you found the church, and how long you and your family have been here?
Oh, wow. You want me to go back into the archives?
Yeah,
Huh?
right? Go way
Okay.
back.
So my family and I, we've been here, oh gosh, since my youngest was born, Leah. Leah just turned 19 in March. So we've been here roughly 19 years.
Yeah, you
yeah.
can mark that date pretty
We
easily.
marked that date easily.
Yeah.
Yep. She was baptized here. So yeah, we've been in community, serving as different capacities. I think when my kids were younger, it was mostly Ruth, who was the active one, with a lot of the mom stuff with kids and youth club and things like that. And so she was kind of the trailblazer with the kids. And then I came on board, serving in various capacities. I started with youth ministry. So I was a SALT leader for let's call them 2 sessions or 2 seasons. And I did them back to back, which great experience, but back to back is a bit challenging. So that was my first step into really taking on significant leadership role in the church and participating. And then during that time, I was asked to be an elder. So I served 2 sessions as an elder. And I was on session during the time when we were going through a lot of different transitions. So we had a transitional pastor. And so I've kind of been through a lot of the turmoil that we've been through as a church. And it's helped shaped me in a lot of different ways. And now I'm not on session, but now I'm being called back into session. So I've had a 2-year break, and in that 2 years' time, I've continued to work with our student ministry as part of the student ministry leadership team, supporting Naomi McPeters and her work, and Sebastian, who's now doing a great job as an assistant. And I've also taken over our outreach since our beloved Audrey is off making the world a better place down in Brazil,
Yeah.
sharing and ministering there. So I'm serving as our outreach ministry leader, and we have a new podcast that we just
Yeah.
dropped this
So,
week.
yeah, many of you have probably seen the podcast. If you haven't, check it out. But Kyle's leading this new podcast about Beyond Sundays, how we can love our neighbors well. And Kyle's passion for student ministry has now expanded to where he's leading our outreach team and looking at ways that we can, as a church, turn out into the community and love our neighbors well. So,
Yeah.
Kyle, thank you for all the ways that you're serving, and
Yeah, I
now
love it.
you're ready to step in and serve as an elder again.
Yes.
Yeah. So recently serving for 6 years, that's a commitment of time and energy.
Yeah.
And now to come and step back on. I want to ask you in a moment just about what you're excited about for the future. But before I do that, I want everyone to have a chance just to hear your faith story. Just
Oh, wow.
a moment on kind of your life journey. You know, you're a chemist,
Yes.
and now God's calling you into ministry. Why don't you just talk about your story?
Yeah, so, gosh, my story. So it's a interesting story. It's a still evolving story. I think a lot of what's shaped what I am now as a Christian, and most of you who know me know that I really want to live a life that loves God and loves people. And so a lot of what you hear from me is about how do we love our neighbors well? How do we show up in spaces and really represent Christ well? And I think my faith journey, I was born, just a little history, I was one of the first generations born after segregation. So my parents and the extended family, everything they knew was segregation up until we were born. And so with that came a great expectation that things would be different and that we would be the generation that really would experience things that they didn't get to, but would be a difference maker out there. And so that was kind of the expectation thrusted upon me as a youngster. And what that has meant for me in faith is, you go through a lot of different growing pains and different people's expectations, but experiencing different things like racism and cruelty to some extent, and being misunderstood. And so at a young age, I think what shaped my faith is that for some reason, God has just birthed different abilities inside of us. And for me, it was the ability to not really get angry at people.
And that's a remarkable gift
Yeah,
you have.
yeah,
Your ability to work with people
yeah,
through conflict, through
yeah,
hard scenarios, and see the good, see the potential, and
absolutely.
then show a lot of grace.
Yeah,
And God's clearly developed that in you.
yeah. And that's how I try to live, because I've been in spaces where and I'm a chemist, I'm a scientist. So I grew up there wasn't a lot of people of color in science. And as you go up the leadership ladder, you definitely see less. So I don't see a lot of people that look like me ethnically. And then I don't experience a lot of people who are like me spiritually.
Right.
So you're kind of in this thing, like they don't look like me or act like me from a cultural perspective. And from a faith perspective, there's a challenge there. So
Yeah.
how do you operate in that space? And that's why I think that just going through the different life challenges, God has kind of shaped me a certain way to see people how they are and to kind of learn to meet people where they are and to really work on representing Him well, listening well, loving well, and allowing that to be the conversation and attitude that drives me in these spaces. And I try to bring that
Yeah.
back into the church and leading some of these outreach things and things like that, and being a part of your kids' lives and student ministry. That's what I want to bring to them is we may look different, but we got one God, one
Yeah.
Savior, that if you allow Him, He can shape you in such a beautiful way that when you see me, hopefully all you see is Christ. And that's the way I try to live my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, many people in our church know you because of the way you've led our students, those families. Our one of my hopes for our leaders is that we would be able to say, "Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ," like Paul said to his churches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, thank you for just living out your faith, leading by example. That's what we want in our elders, is to be people that are spiritual leaders in that way. I guess the last question is, what are you most excited about as you come back on to our session and lead for the next three years into the future? Yeah.
Well, how much time do we have? What am I excited? I'm excited about everything. First of all, I'm excited that Pastor Luke is here. And it was a journey to get him here. In the church, we went through a lot of growing pains, but we went through experiences that I think helped shape our resolve and start to bring about a spiritual maturity. And I think that's what you want in your leadership. So what I'm excited about is to continue to be a leader in this church, but how God is going to evolve us as leaders. We're responsible for the spiritual health of the church, right? And so what does that mean for us? It's a big responsibility to take on, but it's what I'm excited about, is to lean into what God has called us to do as leaders, to show up with you, for you, provide opportunities for you to really get involved and be a part of the mission that we have here. I'm excited about what Naomi is doing with student ministry. I'm excited about what's going to happen when we bring on the new pastor to help us with discipleship, because I believe that discipleship is key and foundation to us growing as a church.
Well, outreach and discipleship go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah.
fuel one another.
Yeah. And I'm excited about getting out in the community. I'm meeting a lot of great people. I'm dragging Luke along with me. Hey, here's someone else for us to connect with. And I'm really excited about what God wants to do in this community and how He's going to use us. And if you know me, I love people. I don't care where you come from, what you look like, I will sit down and have a cup of coffee with you and talk to you and just want to hear your story and share my story, and then share what God, the possibilities of God in your life and in this community. And I'm really excited about that. Sometimes I bug Luke, I send him texts. I had to learn to kind of give him his space, but I'm like, hey, I got another idea for you. I got another idea. But I'm really excited about what God can do. That vision that He's kind of placed in my head and my heart, I'm really to see Him work in this community and work in your lives and get you turned on and fired up and excited and wanting to be a part of what we're doing here. Not just showing up on Sundays, the podcast Beyond Sundays, right? So what does that mean for you, and how do you help us as a church be that community, right? What does that community looks like that's different than what people see out in the world?
Yeah.
We want to be difference makers. We are meant to be difference makers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I hope this helps you get to know one of our elders. We have a great group of leaders, and really looking forward to this next year and how we as a church can continue to be faithful to what God has given to us. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.